We're just a few days into the new year, 2025, and already there are 5 big California political stories that we predict will define 2025. Coming up, I'll tell you what those 5 stories are and what we're doing at Reform California to impact them. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a state representative in the California State Assembly representing District 75. 2025 is a brand new year, but don't expect the state's liberal extremist policies to change very much. In fact, things may get a little worse before they get better. We're going to be tracking, though, 5 big political stories that I think will really define what people are talking about in California politics, at least, during this year. Coming in at number 5, it's pretty obvious, right? California is going to become ground zero in the resistance against the Trump administration. Oh, Gavin Newsom and California Democrats are already chomping at the bit. They are panting in heat, trying to tell the American people, hey, look at us over here, California, we're the resistors. Look, if you want to see what madness will happen in our country if we follow leftist politicians, all you have to do is look at California. So on one level, I'm not terribly disappointed that California is going to be known as the ground zero in resistance against Trump. Not surprised, not disappointed, because what better contrast can Trump have than to point to California saying, yeah, those are the ones, those wingnuts, those idiots over there in California that have screwed up their state that was once really good. The golden state of opportunity is now in the ditch. They're the ones that say that we're in the wrong direction. Really? Seriously? What it also means is that we get an opportunity in California to do things a little differently than what happened in the Trump administration the first 4 years. Because in the first 4 years of the Trump administration, no one had Donald Trump's back here in California. Can you name one politician that stood up for Donald Trump between the years of 2016 and 2020 in California? No one. They stabbed him in the back. They sat silent. As California politicians attacked the Republicans, the handful that we have, were quiet. As a new member of the California State Assembly, I plan to be loud, boisterous, unequivocal in my support for good policies in the Trump administration that can benefit us here in California. In fact, I actually think the Trump administration is one way that we can save California. The Trump administration exercising federal power and federal authority and using federal government leverage can actually help save California from itself. And so one of the things I've pledged to do is keep an open line of communication with the White House and every political appointee that Trump puts into every federal department. And on any issues that I think that the federal government can help us benefit California, we're going to be talking to those agencies and talking to the Trump administration. But what you'll hear from Newsom, what you'll hear from California Democrats is theatrics, a bunch of pontification. Doesn't matter what the consequence is to California. They are willing to basically take hostages, leave collateral damage, and attack. Rather than doing the good work on state issues and local issues out here, they're all going to be falling all over each other, trying to pretend like they're the biggest Trump opponent in the state. Doesn't do you any good, makes a mockery of the whole process, puts us all at a disadvantage. But at least this time around, they'll get called out from people within California, myself included, and I think several others will join us. Coming in at number 4 in the top 5 stories that we're watching in California politics in 2025, the presidential race is going to get started. And yes, it's going to have a lot of the tie will be here to California. Because obviously Kamala Harris is going to return to California, and the question will be, will she sit out the governor's race in 2026? Or will she commit to running for governor, which pretty much means if she doesn't win that, she can't really run for president. The other California politician that's running for president, Gavin Newsom. Oh, you know this. Pretty boy Gavin has been running for president for the past 6 years. And he was really upset that he got pushed to the side in favor of the identity politics boxes that Kamala Harris was able to check off when they anointed her for president in the 2024 election. But now he's saying, no, it's mine. It's mine for the taking. And he's going to have a whole lot of people supporting him. But he's going to be doing everything every day to run for president. He's going to turn his governor's office into more of a presidential campaign than you've ever seen before. You thought it was bad prior? It's going to get real bad going forward, much worse. Coming in at number 3 is the California governor's race that I just alluded to. It starts in earnest in 2025. There are already 5 Democrat candidates running for governor. Oh, you don't need to know the names. They're basically the same, cut from the same cloth. Liberals, sellouts, incompetents. But you're going to have Kamala Harris having to make a decision this year on whether she's in, whether she's out. Another candidate that has to decide whether she's in or out, former Congresswoman Katie Porter. Polling suggests that she would jump to the front of the pack if she decided to run for that office. The other question is, who will the Republicans put up? Are they going to be stupid again? Are they going to split the vote with multiple candidates and get shut out? Or is it possible that we can unite behind one good candidate who actually is willing to run a legitimate campaign this time? I'm hoping for the latter. In fact, at Reform California, we are actively talking to several possible candidates for governor on the Republican side, plus a bunch of other state offices. In fact, right now is a good opportunity for me to invite you to support us in our candidate recruitment, training, and support efforts. Go to the website, reformcalifornia.org. That's reformcalifornia.org. Chip in a contribution. We need gas in the tank. We do not get any money from big special interests. We are entirely funded from grassroots supporters like you. The average contribution is $67 a year, which is about $5 a month. So if you can spare $5, put in $5 right now. If it's a one-time thing, put in $25, $50, whatever you can do. But if all of us work together, we can actually raise the resources to be competitive in California. That's what Trump taught us. Small dollar donors can all add up to a very big resource base. That's what we need to take back our state. No one's going to gallop in with billions of dollars to save us. We're going to have to save ourselves. So be part of that effort by going to reformcalifornia.org, chipping in a contribution. Plus, check out some of the stories we have on that website, share them so that you can red pill some of your friends, family, and neighbors. Coming in at number 2, in 2025, a big story is going to be making crime illegal again in our state, the implementation of the voter-approved Prop 36 initiative. This gives police and prosecutors back the powers to arrest and punish criminals. Oh, how unique, how marvelous. Well, some criminals are already getting caught up because some of the cities are now actively going out and arresting people for things that criminals got away with scot-free for the past several years under the coddle the criminal policies of California Democrats. Now that's changed with Prop 36. And what you're going to find are 2 things. More and more examples of criminals literally getting caught and being so shocked about it. I've seen a couple funny videos, and I'm sure you have too, already in these first few days of the new year. But also you're going to see, hopefully, crime rates fall. And you're going to see property insurance going back down because insurance companies are not having to pay out the damages, and hopefully some savings at your local retail store as well, as they have less theft losses that they've been passing on to you for several years. So Prop 36's implementation, it's something we're going to monitor very carefully during 2025. And then finally, coming in at number 1, we are going to start seeing reform-oriented ballot measures rolled out this year. And a lot of those measures are going to be coming from us here at Reform California. We're taking a page out of the playbook from Prop 36 that we did in the 2024 election. We know that the California state politicians will not reform their extremist, broken, and failed policies. We can't wait for them to wake up and do the right thing. We have to impose reform on the outside, from the outside, on this broken, corrupt system. Prop 36, as I just mentioned, required citizens to collect signatures and then put it on the ballot and then vote and impose the reform on the politicians. And I think we need to do that on a number of topics in 2025. Collecting the signatures in 2025 puts us on schedule to get it on the ballot for 2026 and ultimately a public vote and a win. So what are we working on? Number one, my top priority, voter ID. Imposing a voter ID requirement, cleaning up the elections in California, restoring the integrity. Number two, protecting Prop 13 and limiting the ability of politicians to raise our taxes. And number three, I believe we need to have a secure the border initiative here in California that ends welfare handouts to illegals, repeals the sanctuary state law, and does a number of other changes to strengthen law enforcement's partnership with the federal government to secure the border and keep our communities safe. We're also looking at some follow-on initiatives for the issue of homelessness and crime, as well as some education reforms. You can check out a full list of our reform-minded ballot measures if you go to the website reformcalifornia.org and check out the contract to reform California. That's what we want to put on the ballot slowly but surely in the coming cycles. It's also what we want all of our candidates that we're supporting to get behind in 2025 and in future election years. Check it out. Those 5 top stories that we predict will define political discussions and political news coverage in California in 2025. Sound off in the comment section below. What are some of the other stories that you think will be a big impact, a big area of focus in 2025 in California politics? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in addition to the 5 I just shared. Until next time, I'm Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California and a California State Representative representing District 75 in the State Assembly. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.